What's up guys, it's Apollo Uchiha here and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with a new short movie. The name of this short movie is What If Naruto Was the Strongest Uzumaki Unleashed Upon the Whole Elemental Nation. And yeah guys, it is an unscripted short movie. Now before continuing this, shout out is due where it is due. Shout out to my boy Spidey X Arco for suggesting this idea. Well yeah, this is the same idea that I told him in the previous video that I wasn't going to make. But yeah, anyways, I thought to myself, screw it, I'm gonna do it anyways. Now he wanted me to make, Naruto reborn with the powers of Gojo and Sukuna as a whole. So for the 3 or 4 episodes that I watched, the most I can come up with is the abilities that they have. So yeah, Naruto will have those abilities to some extent of my knowledge. So yeah, don't go crazy on me if I make a mistake or anything. Anyways, I will try to add on my own a bit here and there. So yeah, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel, and please do leave your ideas in the comment section. And without any further ado, let's begin with our today's short movie. Our story begins after the fall of the Uzushiogakure in the Second Great Shinobi War, and as now we see, some of the shinobis from Konoha reached at the ruins of the Uzushiogakure at their allied nation to find the ruins and the barren lands. They were late to the war. The Uzushiogakure was devastated. All there left was their dead bodies and the gruesome state of the once beautiful land and village. And leading them was none other than the young Hiruzen Sarutobi, the newly instated Hokage of the said village. We were late. Gather what you can, bury the dead, and then we'll head back. And after the proper burial and funeral and gathering of whatever they could salvage, they returned back. While returning, Hiruzen bumped his feet into a scroll that was huge, so huge that it almost was a human-sized scroll. What could be inside such a scroll? And from the looks of it, it is quite old. I have to take this back. It must be important. As now we see, back at Konohagakure, once the team that was sent there returned with their Kage, with a sad expression, Mito Uzumaki realized that she has lost her home, but she was not alone who lost her home that day. There was that other child that has been brought here a few days prior to the Uzushio attack, Kushina Uzumaki, who was going to be the next Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi no Yoko, because she has grown old. As inside Hiruzen's office we see Mito standing there, as all the salvage scrolls and things that were brought from Uzushiogakure were brought in front of her. These all scrolls, everything will be given to Kushina, since she will be the clan head of the Uzumaki clan and stated now effectively in Konoha. I state that as the Senju and the Uzumaki clan head. Hi, we will follow your word, every word, Mito-sama, said Danzo, Koharu and Homura, because the 3 of them too have been trained by the said woman at one point when their sensei couldn't. As Hiruzen as a Kage nodded as well. We will. Anything else? Yes, there is one more thing. Whatever happens, make sure, Hiruzen, that huge scroll over there is never opened. What? Why? Why, Mito-sama? That scroll, it contains a power. If it is unleashed in this world, I fear that nobody will be able to contain it, and the one who will unleash it will be the one who will become its master, and only an Uzumaki can do that. A true pure-hearted Uzumaki, not a tainted one. As everyone's eyes widen, as Danzo at that point said, but Mito-sama, if that is such a power, then Konoha can get great benefits from that. Danzo, my boy, listen to me. Every one of you as well. This power is not worth it. We Uzumakis at one time worshipped this person who is sealed within. It is a person? Yes. He is a 13-year-old child, born with the most purest form of chakra. So much that we called it a curse. He could use it. And so, he called it curse energy. He has such abilities that are not even achieved by a Kekkei Genkai or even by abilities. So we had no other choice but to seal him away, because due to his curse energy, he was slowly losing his mind. And the name of that power is Naruto Uzumaki. As the 4 of them were shocked, I have heard tales of Naruto Uzumaki before, said Danzo, but I thought he was a monster, created as a myth to scare the Uzumaki children. Well, that myth is in front of you, Danzo. Never open the scroll. If it is open, it can even turn against you. So make sure that it is never opened. I am giving this duty to you, Danzo. Since you are the one who admire and want the power the most, I am giving you this duty. What? But what if he... said Hiruzen. I trust him. And I know he won't break my trust. Would you now, Danzo? No. No matter what happens, I won't. You have my word, said Danzo Shimura. As soon after that, a few months later, when Mito was getting more weaker and weaker, the process was made, and Kushina was made into the new Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi no Yoko. As the funeral for Mito Uzumaki was made, after the funeral we see the elders were talking inside Danzo's root base headquarters, which was situated underneath, deep in ground, below ground level even, in the Hokage office. As now we see, he was seated there with his two trusted friends, and behind him was the scroll section in which on the wall was mounted the huge scroll. Are you sure that you're not gonna open it? I will follow my promise. If this power is as dangerous as Mito-sama say it is, then I'm not gonna try to do anything about it. It is powerful, but such a waste that it cannot be maintained or controlled. Mito-sama has given me her final test, can't you see? What? What do you mean? Said Homura. I desired power, and she wanted to test me to see that if I can, even after having the responsibility to what seemingly is the most powerful thing in the whole world at my bay and hand, will use it or not, or will I get stronger on my own? She wants to see that. I think you should not open that scroll whatever happens, and it should be remain a hidden secret forever. So it is agreed between us? Yes, it is. As after that, years begin to pass by. Kushina grew, and soon the third great shinobi war happened, in which Kushina as a great Kunoichi emerged as the Red Death, and her lover Minato no Mikaze as well as the Yellow Flash, and he soon was labeled as the hero of the war and was newly instated as the Kage. Now on the first day, both of them were told about the scroll and the Uzumaki's finding. As Danzo then said, I was given this task by Mito-sama. I have gotten old, Minato, as you can see. I have been guarding it like a watchdog for all this time. If you wish as a Kage to take it back, I won't hesitate to give it to you back. But remember, this scroll is never to be opened, not even by you, Kushina. Never. You keep it, Danzo. Keep it well and hidden, so nobody can find it. After all, it is the most powerful thing in the whole world. God knows what will happen if it falls into someone's hand. Unknown to them, behind the door of the Hokage office, someone was listening into this. Someone with yellow eyes, with slits in them. My oh my. Now who would have thought? As now we see, a few months passed as Kushina and Minato married, and soon after that, October 10th came, as Kushina became pregnant, and her daughter was born, Mito Uzumaki, which she named after the great Mito Uzumaki herself. As everything was going smoothly until the Kyuubi attack happened, in which a masked person appeared and demanded the Jinchuriki. Minato denied it at first, but once he saw that his child has been kidnapped, he had no other choice, and Kushina willingly gave herself up. Knowing that Kushina was strong and will hold her fort, what Minato did not expect it was that the pregnancy has taken a toll while also guarding the Biju back, so that it won't harm the child and won't break free. And not only that, since Kushina was in this weakened state and chakra exhausted already, the Biju was ripped out of her, which caused her to go into a shock-like state and pass out for the time being. Once Minato found out where she was, after securing their child, he arrived and took her back. Only then Kushina was awakened. As at that time, Minato went ahead and dealt with the masked person. Only when he was injured, the masked person told him about the secret at what he has done through the Kyuubi. As that is when Minato heard a huge roar and screams that filled his ears, and to his horror, once he turned behind, he watched the huge visage of the Kyuubi no Yoko descending upon his village, destroying and demolishing everything. As Minato looked back at the masked person, who was laughing, "Now, Minato, what are you going to do? Are you going to continue fight me? Or are you going to save your pathetic village? This is not over. I will find you, and once I do, you will pay for your crimes. Spare me your monologue, Minato, and go do what you have to do. And with that, the masked person disappeared into thin air in a swirl. As now we see, Minato appeared at the Hokage monument atop of his head that was created there. As he watched the Biju, come on, Minato, think. There has to be a way to stop this. As he was thinking and thinking, but he knew the time was short. And only finding one solution, he knew he has to go through with it, even if it pains him. He arrived towards his wife and child. Kushina, I'm taking Mito with me. What? What do you mean? Where? I need to make her the Jinchuriki. No, don't you dare do that. There is no other choice. The Biju is free and destroying the village. Sooner or later it will arrive here. For your sake, I have to do this. Whatever happens, make sure she is protected, okay? What? What do you mean? I have to use the Hake Fugen. There is no other way to seal the Biju away. No, don't you dare, Minato. You hear? Before she could finish, Minato disappeared in the yellow flash with the said child. After arriving, he summoned Gamabunta, the chief toad. Using him to buy some time, the tides of the battle changed for a bit, as Minato prepared for an altar. And after preparing, Minato was able to draw the Hake Fugen seals, but the Biju was able to even defeat Gamabunta as he poofed away. And that is when Kyuubi was about to lash out and attack, when adamantium chains of Uzumaki's wrapped around him, halting him in his state. Go ahead, Minato. Finish it, said a familiar voice. As Minato turned behind to see, it was his wife Kushina, in the weakened state and looking more paler than ever. Kushina, do it now! We don't have time! As Minato, after finishing the hand seals, then summoned the Shinigami, and sacrificed his soul to save everyone and seal away the Biju in their daughter. And at that time, Kyuubi was broken out of his genjutsu, and seeing that it was being sealed away, it tried in the last ditch of efforts to break free from the said chains and pierced straight through both Minato and Kushina, killing them while the child was saved, and the Biju itself was once again sealed away into the new seal inside its new Jinchuriki. As now we go to the battlefield, which was now silent, pin drop silent, as everyone was shocked at what has just occurred and happened. As that is when Hiruzen got up and brought himself out of his stupor as he began to walk towards his fallen successor. Oh, Minato. Kushina. He then heard baby cries as he looked toward the shrine that was made in which the baby was placed. As he picked it up, it was like a basket of a sort, and wrapped it around to cover it from the cold night. As that is when he was about to move, he heard a breathing sense. As he looked down with hopeful eyes to see that Kushina was clinging on to her life. We need Maddox here! Maddox! Hurry! Kushina is breathing! As Maddox began to charge towards, it's no use, Hiruzen-sama. Protect Mai and Minato's here. Protect our child, please. Her name is Mito. And with these words, Kushina lost her life as well. As Hiruzen was stunned and shocked, and so were the shinobis. There was no celebration. The mood was solemn. As now we see, there was a council meeting being held as Hiruzen, in a state of shock, with in one hand with a hat and on the other hand with the basket in which the child was crying, arrived. As the child was placed there, an envoy arrived and took it away. It was Kakashi Hatake who did so, and who Hiruzen trusted. Who was this child? Said Koharu, Minato and Kushina's daughter, Mito Uzumaki Namikaze, the new Jinchuriki of Konoha. They sacrificed themselves, seeing this as the only option. They chose their daughter to bear this burden. He said in a broken voice, as everyone then looked down, and for a moment there was complete silence. As after that, Danzo then spoke. She must be protected at all cost, but more than ever, we need to know, how did this happen in the first place? Who was the one behind all of this? We have to find him out. Oh, that we will, Danzo. You better believe we will. As that is when an shinobi named Shikaku Nara, the Jonin commander, then said, Fugaku, you might not like this one bit, but I saw a Sharingan in Kyuubi's eyes. What? But there was no Uchiha there. The Uchihas were trying to evacuate the civilians. We were not behind this, Hokage-sama. Everyone. We know that you were not. But that doesn't mean you're off the hook, Danzo said. Danzo, enough! Why? It could be Uchihas for all we know. Could be? I'm sorry, but last time I checked we were defending the civilians. They can vouch for us. We had a duty, and this was given to us by Hiruzen-sama himself. It is right. They are also the victims as we are. We have to find who was behind this. Only Minato knew. As everyone turned towards Inoichi. Don't make me do this. I don't want to walk into the mind of my dead friend. It is sinister in its own right. I can't do that. I don't have the will to. I'm sorry, Inoichi. There is no other choice. You have to. As that is when we see Inoichi was sent to the morgue where Minato's body was laying. As with tears in his eyes, he with shaky hand did the jutsu, and inside Minato's mindscape he found out what happened. Madara Uchiha, he said after waking up with tears in his eyes as he dashed towards the council chambers where the council was waiting. Seeing what Inoichi has went through and was shaking, Choza got up. Inoichi, you've done enough. Calm down. Tell us what happened. Madara Uchiha. He claimed to be Madara Uchiha. I don't know how does this make sense. But he really was Madara. I witnessed him. I saw him. I sensed his power. The power that Minato sensed and felt. His killer intent as well. He's strong. It was not an Uchiha from this village, Hokage-sama. You have to believe me. Alright, Inoichi, calm down. You have seen enough, buddy. Why don't you go home? Said Shikaku. As Choza took him back at home to rest because of what he has gone through. We don't want people to be traumatized, Danzo. And we don't want to point fingers at anyone. But this Madara Uchiha or whoever he is the one behind this, not Uchiha clan. Uchiha clan alongside everyone else is equal to us. And they will alongside us work together to find out who was the one behind this, claiming to be Madara Uchiha. Got it? Hi. This meeting is adjourned. Dismissed. Danzo, Koharu, Homura, you stay behind. Come to my office. As the three of them came to his office, as after that the privacy seal was activated. So what do you think? What? What do you mean? Do you really think it is the Uchihas? Because I don't think so. Seeing how Inoichi was, I believe now that. At first I had doubts that it might be an Uchiha since Shikaku pointed out the Sharingan, which I also saw. Said Hiruzen. So what do you say? What? I want you to investigate this. You know why I called you here. Your route, I know it is still active. What? How did you? Even if Minato wanted to, you wouldn't have shut down that organization because of the job that Mito-sama gave you, if anything else. What of it? I'm not saying that we should use that scroll, but what I am saying is that we should at least up the security, because if this can happen, maybe someone after that scroll can get to it as well. Someone who knows it. Nonsense. Nobody is aware of that scroll except for us, because Mito-sama only revealed this to us present, remember? Said Koharu. I sensed someone behind the door on that day. I have been trying to locate him down, and I fear you're not gonna like who it was. Who? Orochimaru. What? You mean to say your psychotic student knows about the scroll? Said Danzo, lashing out on Hiruzen. I don't know how he knows, but he knows. And he might try to get him. He would try anything in his power to get Naruto on his side. And we have to make sure that doesn't happen. And on the other side, we have to investigate this. I'm appointing you as the head of the route, if immediately effective and active again, to search for this Madara Uchiha, or imposer to be. Understood, Hokage-sama. Dismissed. As now we see, Kakashi arrived there, with an infant Mito, who was orphaned. What are we to do with her? If the enemies find out of Minato and Kushina, they would try anything in their power to cause her harm. For the time being, keep her close to yourself. I'm gonna have another council meeting after the funeral, and at that time, we will decide what is the best approach with her. Alright, Hokage-sama. As after a few days, a council meeting was held once more, and there we see Minato and Kushina's legacy was being discussed. What do you mean, what is to be done with child? We can't just harm it. Even if it possesses the Kyuubi, it is still their child and daughter. As even the civilians agreed. I am giving this duty to a friend of mine, an orphanage runner. She will be the one watching over her. And I need you all to promise me that no matter what happens, nobody will reveal her identity as a Jinchuriki or as Minato and Kushina's daughter to anyone. But why? Think about it, said Shikaku. They're enemies. Minato and Kushina's. Kumo and Iwa are at their throats and would want nothing more than to harm their legacy, because they're already celebrating their death. Or have you forgotten? As the civilians were mad and frustrated, but they knew they couldn't do anything about this. And when she reaches at the age of 13, the whole Uzumaki's possession, she will have them all. As Danzo's eyes widened, and so did Koharu and Homura. All of them? All of them. As now we see, after the meeting was adjourned, Danzo arrived. Are you insane, Hiruzen? How can you give such a big responsibility to a 13-year-old? I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready to pass on that scroll to her. She has to prove that she can take care of that thing without opening it. I have held on my desire to open it. I know I could, but I didn't. You wanna know why? I realized that I could get strong on my own without the need of power that could boost my strength tenfold. I can expand it, drop by drop. Even the ponds turn into a river. I know that, Danzo. But know this. She will be the one true Uzumaki here, as Kushina's will. And everything the Uzumakis possess will belong to her. And last time I checked, that scroll was Uzumaki's. Fine. Then I will be watching over her training. Good. As long as you don't brainwash her like all your root are. I won't. You have my word. This is far enough good for me then, Danzo. As after that, a few more years passed, as at the age of 10, Mito was showing prominent results, as well as learning about her heritage from her Gigi. As now we see, Hiruzen was watching over the young girl and teaching her everything he could. Nay, Gigi, he told me about my parents, and not only that, he told me about my clan as well. But I want to know one more thing. What? What about my godfather or godmother? Why aren't they here? The truth is, I didn't even reveal this to, well, both of them. I think Jiraiya knows, but he just denies it to cope with it. As for Tsunade, maybe the news has reached her, and she is also somehow coping there. But both are unaware that you might be alive, and I, as their sensei who have failed them again, don't know how to contact them, face them. But you're their sensei, right? You're the Hokage, the strongest out there. You can do this. I will try my best, Mito-chan. But you have to focus on your studies, okay? Okay. As now we see, Hiruzen now had to face a difficult decision to send his letters, which he has written down to his students. As the letters were received by them, as both of them read in one single shot, as we see. Both of you, I know that you are aware that Minato and Kushina are dead, but they have left behind their legacy, who is still alive and breathing even after 10 years. She has asked me about a question where her godparents are. I told her the truth, that I didn't have the strength to face you. I know that you might already be aware of this because of what is going on around the world and the news travel fast. But know this, I didn't have the time because of what the situation was in the Elemental Nation, and in Konoha, I was scared for the first time. I did not know how to cope with it. I just watched Minato and Kushina die in front of my eyes by the Kyuubi and I couldn't do anything. And as for the young Mito, she is like Kushina and Minato, a complete perfect harmony of both of them. When she wants to be prankster, she'll be the prankster from hell. But when she wants to be a genius, she will be a genius. A generational one at that. She wishes to meet both of you. If you have the time, then please visit Konoha, your sensei, Hiruzen. As the letter ended, as we see, both Jiraiya and Tsunade looked up to the moon. Mito, huh? I guess we'll pay a visit. As after a few weeks we see both of them standing in front of Konoha gates. Didn't thought I'd bump into you, Jiraiya. Seems like you also got the letter. Well, it did say the same thing, didn't it? Of course it did. That old man always had been quite a slack-off. He couldn't even write proper apologies to separately both of us. Just copy-paste, huh? Well, regardless, he is our sensei, and he's old-timer. Give him a slide, alright? Fine, whatever. So, in we go then, right? Of course. Let us. As now we see in Hokage office, once both of the Sanins appeared, the village was in a buzz, since this was quite surprising, since Tsunade has vowed that she will never return after the death of Dan and her family, once Kushina grew up. As on the other side, Jiraiya has been busy with spy network, expanding it for Konoha. And now both of them were at home. Something must have been happening, something big. Obviously the council figured it out instantly, while on the other side the civilians were just guessing. As now we see inside the Hokage office, it's been a long time, both of you. Took you long enough to contact us, Sensei. Why were you hiding this? Why were you hiding her all this time? I didn't find the right verse to write to you. In some way, I was still, for the first time, traumatized by such young deaths in front of my own eyes that I couldn't bear. Sensei, this isn't like you. I know, but what can an old man like me do in such an old age, right? Anyways, you're here to meet her, right? Kakashi, bring her in. As the door opened, as a 10-year-old Mito was brought in. She was wearing a blue shirt with grey overtop and had red hair with blue eyes and a palish tannish skin similar to both Minato and Kushina. As both of the Sanin's eyes widened, she was a complete and perfect blend of both Minato and Kushina there. Wow. You look quite beautiful, Tsunade-sama. I thought you might be a little older. And you're the same as I imagined, a perverted old man. A hermit. I guess you really are a blend of Kushina and Minato, huh? Nice to meet you, kid. I am your godfather, Jiraiya. I'm Tsunade. Where have you been? It took you long enough to come and visit. You know it would have been nice for you to visit once in a while. Listen to me, kid. I was busy, you see. After your family's dead, I was lost, okay? And I had, a job to do that I promised my student, your father, that I will build him a spy network. Because he thought it was quite cool. And not only that, it will be beneficial. So to make sure his dream comes reality, I was working hard. As on the other side, I was coping his death. He was like a son to me that I never had. What about you, Bachan? Bachan. I don't even know if I deserve to be called that, kid. Kushina was like a daughter to me. And you could be my granddaughter. You are, but even if I am an Uzumaki, do I even deserve that anymore? I don't even deserve it. I ran away. I was hiding. As Mito went towards her and gave her a hug. You weren't. You're strong, you see. You're here, aren't you not? I guess in a sense I am. So, this is it, huh? Yeah, I guess. After this awkward meeting, and a tearful one, we see that the elders as well as Hiruzen was watching as Mito went with the both Sanins as they moved into Kushina and Minato's home. Mito's home. As finally after moving in there, 3 years passed, and in those 3 years, like a true prodigy she was, even surpassing that of the Itachi and everyone else, shocking the whole village that she has mastered not only Harasshin but advanced it, and not only that, she has completed the Rasengan and have done something that was not even thought to be possible. Became friends with the Kyuubi no Yoko, whose name was revealed to be Kurama, and that came as a shocker to the whole village, who now, instead of seeing him in the light of fate, saw him as another victim of their own greed. As for the first time, after finding out about this, a huge council in front of the whole civilians was being held. As there, in Mito's body, QB took over and answered their questions. State, why did you attack our village? I was ripped out. I would have left this pathetic village, but I was being controlled by that cursed being, the Uchiha, Madara Uchiha. Are you sure it was him? I cannot mistake his Sharingan. Not twice. Twice that bastard has fooled me. Once against Hashirama at the Valley of the End battle, and second time when Mito was born. How can we trust you now? Trust me or don't trust me, it is up to you. But know this, Mito is the first human who tried to understand me and my anger. And now that she has made me her friends, I will try my best to protect her. Seeing that I was the cause of her family's death, it is my utmost responsibility to raise her in their stead, the best I can, and protect her from the dangers, even if it means at the cost of my own self. Then all of the Bijus, does all of them? We all were born from the 10 tails known as Shinju, created by the Rabbit Goddess. The Rabbit Goddess was the mother of the Sage of the Sixth Path. The stone that you call the moon up there is a prison. Prison for her. She still is there, breathing. I can sense her. She's watching over us even now. What? Yes. Still, she's waiting for her freedom. From last time, but from what I have heard, is that her will is roaming free into this world. And all the war, all this hatred that you have felt and lived through is because of her and her will's doing. You're nothing more than a book that her will is writing, and that can be burned and torn down over and over again. And the power that you are also proud of after being born is hers. She's the originator of chakra. Sage was just a distributor. And once she's freed, she will take it back. And that is why the Sage has sealed her away there forever. So she can't. Is the seal secure? God knows how long it can hold her. Knowing her, she will be closer to breaking it. Sooner or later, it will break free. What will we do then? You know, back in my day, there was one human, one Ningen, who didn't have any chakra. But what he did had the curse energy. As the elders and Hiruzen's ears perked as they flinched, instantly hearing this. The child, he was only 13. His name was Naruto Uzumaki the last time I fought him. I was near Uzushiogakure, and seeing me, they were afraid obviously, and tried to attack me. And I became enraged because I was just passing by, so I attacked. And that is when he emerged. As now we go into a flashback to see that Uzushiogakure was attacked by Kyuubi. As the rampage pursued, a 13-year-old Naruto Uzumaki jumped there, wearing a black top and a white downwear. As now we see, he was standing there without any weapons in his hand with a smirk on his face. So this is the Kyuubi no Yoko, huh? Foolish Ningen! You think you can defeat me without any weapon? Even with weapons it is futile. You talk too much. Go ahead, try. Naruto-sama, enough. Leave, said Naruto, as his tone changed, and instantly Uzumaki's all flinched as Kyuubi noticed and disappeared. As the Kyuubi tried to slash it with the most brutal strength, but to his surprise, his hand that was coming towards the boy with full speed was flung back, as even his hand was shaking. What is this strength? What did you do? So you can't pierce through my barrier. Interesting. Very interesting. But can you survive this? As a blue source of energy appeared on his fist, as Kyuubi watched, the boy began to run towards him, and soon he began running into the air towards him and came to his face, and with a single punch the Kyuubi was sent flying back, mountains back. After destroying 10 to 15 mountains, the Kyuubi stopped, and in front of him was the kid again with a sinister smirk on his face. He punched the Kyuubi again and again and again, and for the first time even Kyuubi felt scared. What monster are you? Your worst nightmare. As Kyuubi then with full rage and power attacked the kid, and the battle resumed as Naruto didn't even broke any sweat. But he was getting tired. You know what? I'm running out of, breath. So, how about this? How about we finish this in the next attack? What do you say, Kyuubi? He's running out of his breath now, after 9 days of fighting continuously? As even Kyuubi was scared and shocked just what kind of monster this Uzumaki was. Normally the normal human or even a Jinchuriki would have died by now. But this person was different. How can he fight without any usage of chakra, without any sense of chakra, with such brutality and strength? Say, what is that thing that you use? Oh, you mean my curse energy? Curse energy? Everyone called this power a curse. I don't know what it is, so I call it just curse energy. You feel me? Said Naruto. You talk funny. Yeah, I want to create my own style. Anyways, as I was saying, oh right. I'm gonna finish you off. You think you can? Of course I think I can. So how about you put I'll go in one attack, and so do I. Whoever one-shots the other, wins. Fine. As Kyuubi began to charge the strongest Bijudama ever, as on the other side, Naruto just made a hand sign and connected his hands together, as he then said, domain expansion. As after that, something interesting happened. Everything surrounding them turned into black void. As that is when Naruto opened his eyes and said, Shrine. As a huge shrine Kyuubi witnessed appeared behind him that was giving sinister ooze. As suddenly Kyuubi felt itself turning into pieces as Kyuubi was laying on the ground, evaporating because his chakra, it was made out of chakra. It was defeated. I was defeated. So even the greatest Kyuubi cannot withstand my energy, said the kid with a smirk. I wonder what I can do. He's a true monster, father. As now we see, after that it took Kyuubi 9 years to be reborn, as now we go to the present, in which the trial was being held, after the end of the flashback, and everyone was shivering, realizing that the myth that they knew that the Uzumaki's told in the story was a reality that Kyuubi fought. So you mean to say that this Naruto is even stronger than you? If he is able to kill me, then yes he is. And I think he might be the wild card if anything happens. He might be the one to the answer to Kaguya Otsutsuki. And only a pure-blooded Uzumaki can open it. Like Mito. But remember, it is hard to control and manipulate it. Because from what I have heard, he before being sealed was a tyrant-like being who only listened to the one who was his one true love. But she unfortunately was killed because many other women desired to control him, to be showered by his love. But then all he did was to just butcher them down and shower them with blades and cruel treatment. Remember that. No matter what happens, you cannot be jealous, and whoever he chooses to listen to, he will only follow its command. The rest of you do not have any say in it. What makes you think that we will free him? Said Danzo after gulping down. Oh, you will. Because once Kaguya appears, there is no other way around it. And as Kyuubi suggested and said, his prediction came true. Because as years progressed, the Akatsuki emerged, and their goal became evident of what they wanted. As Mito began her shinobi career, she also faced her own issues, like Orochimaru, as well as Sasuke defecting. And not only that, there was another thing, the Land of Waves arc. All of these have formed her into formidable Kunoichi. As now we see, she was 16 years old, and a beautiful Kunoichi as well. And she was still traveling on a sage trip with Tsunade Senju after being done with the 3-year training trip with Jiraiya. It was her last year and a few months were left before they returned to Konoha. As they were ambushed by the Akatsuki, and soon as they were ambushed, Kyuubi at that moment said, "Make these hand seals, Mito. They're the only reason that you will be able to win this battle. They're overpowering you." What is this? You don't have time. Just Just do these hand seals. As Mito did this while with the shaking hands, as she watched Tsunade being brutalized by them, as Tsunade even was on one knee, about to be stabbed by the one called Pain, their leader. As after being the hand seals made, in Konoha, far away, the scrolls rip open, as suddenly the whole Kage building was exploded, as something leapt out, as now we see a person standing atop of Konoha's Kage monument head. Interesting. Times have changed, it seems. But where is my summoner? As after sensing the energy coming from the direction, with a single step that might have making him fall to the ground face fault, all the way down from the mountain, made him disappear. As the next step he took was on the face of the person that was about to impale a tall, big-breasted, blonde-haired woman. As the person's head exploded, splattering over the ground, as every other Katsuki member was shocked. It feels refreshing now that I'm back. So you're my summoner. Interesting. Who are you? So you don't even know about me. I thought it might have told you already. Isn't it right, my buddy Kurama? As even Kyubi flinched, hearing his name. As Tsunade looked towards him. Who are you? My oh my, what a beauty you are. Maybe you should rest for the time being and leave this to me. What makes you think you can do anything? Said Pain, who was revived. I am Pain. Kami. You think you can go against... Kami, you say? Now this is some bullshit that I hear. I can't believe that, you know? Not after what I did to you with a single axe kick. As now we see the whole Akatsuki charge towards him, but he was just standing there and yawning. As Tsunade watched with shock that he wasn't even moving any muscle in his body, as the Akatsuki were just trying to attack him, but they couldn't even come close to him. What is this? Some sort of invisible protection? Yes, a sort of. A barrier, you see. As after that is when we see Pain the said, then fail my Pain, almighty push. He tried his best, but Naruto didn't even budge. He just stood there with a smirk on his face. Is this all? As everyone else was now shocked. Who is this? Zetsu then realized who it was. No, it can't be. You were sealed away. I made sure they did. They did seal you away. You could never be broken free from that. I remember you. The will of Kaguya. You and I have a score to settle. But before this, I have to settle them first, right? As immediately, he made a hand seal. But a different one this time. Domain expansion. Void. As something interesting happened. Their bodies froze as they all were surrounded in a darkness void, and a black hole appeared behind them. One by one it consumed them, turning them into shreds before they were erased from eternity forever, from existence forever. As he began to walk slowly towards none other than Zetsu, who couldn't move, who was crying, "No, please, don't do this! Don't do this!" As Naruto grabbed him by the skull. You know, I detest the people like you the most. Who knows, if your mother is really beautiful, I might just let her live. For my sake, that is. As after that, he ripped out his head literally with a single hand. And after doing so, the expansion disappeared. As Naruto began to walk towards the blonde-haired woman, who was watching this with horror, as she couldn't even move. What is this energy? What is this power? It is terrifying. Terrifying indeed. As now we see Naruto bend down on one knee and look towards her. You really are quite beautiful. And so is she, my summoner. Well, I have decided. You see? Decided what? I'm gonna make you both of my wives. You see, before I was sealed away, my original plan was to marry the love of my life. Then she resembled both of you in some way. Now, seeing that you resemble both of her, I like both of you, and I will get to know you. But once I do, you both will be mine. Aren't you a little too young to say that to me? Young? What year is this even? I'm at least 1,000 years old, you know that, right? I am from the beginning of the Uzumaki age, after all. As both of their eyes widen. As after that, Mito woke up, as Naruto met her, and with a smile, he was brought back to the village. As Naruto was being overly affectionate only towards both of them, but everyone else was on edge in council chambers. State your name. Who are you to say that to me? Said Naruto with cold blue eyes, as immediately the temperature in the whole room dropped to minus 150 degrees. As that is when everyone felt chills down their spine, as almost as if snow blizzard was blowing there. Naruto, please don't do this to them. If you say this more affectionately, I will listen to you, Mito-chan. Please don't do this, Naruto-kun. Ah, you melt my heart, you know that? Fine, I won't. As after that, we see the council meeting ended, and that is when Jiraiya arrived with a new edition of his Icha Icha Tactics book. Who might you be, you white-haired buffoon? What is this in your hands? My book? Interesting. As after reading this book, we see while they were discussing in the Hokage office, while Naruto was given all the books of Icha Icha Tactics, we see Naruto appeared after what seeming like 8 hours, bursting through the doors, turning into splinters. As Anbus were even alerted but flinched, seeing him. Where is Jiraiya? I need to know what happened next. Please, tell me. This is the works of God. How can you write such a beautiful story and art? You finally see this. You finally see, Sensei? Someone even from the past admired this as art. Yes, this is true. He has the writing and blessing of the gods. Why do you deny this art? They won't understand. Naruto-sama. Of course they wouldn't, Jiraiya. So tell me what happens. Actually, I'm working on it. I will publish it. Damn it. Once you do, your first job is to hand that book over to me. Got it? I will, I promise. Good. Don't take too long, Otto. I might get bored soon. As after that, Tsunade then said, Bored, huh? So you're gonna replace us? No, Tsunade-chan. I didn't mean bored of you. I mean bored of this, waiting, that is. As after that, we see time begin to pass by, and the other villagers grew only curious of what was going on in Konoha. Who was this new power player who even scared Konoha to the extent that they wouldn't do anything against him? As they launched spies after spies, but they couldn't do anything. Naruto just butchered them down in the most torturous way possible. And that is when Orochimaru gained this interest and did some recon on his own, spying on Mito Uzumaki Namikaze's house as Naruto appeared behind him. As Orochimaru's eyes widened. Why are you watching over my wives, man? You know that there is thing called privacy, I remember. And one person shouldn't invade into other man's family. Oh, are you? How did you? I can sense your pathetic chakra from even a mile away. It is so pathetic that it makes me want to puke. You know that? Who are you to say that to me? A Sannin! As with a single 2 fingers, he snapped his neck. As Orochimaru dropped to the ground, alive, breathing, but not dead. You see? Just with 2 fingers I broke your spine. And now you're paralyzed from neck down completely. So much for legendary you are. Pathetic, as I said. Now listen to me, you foolish little boy. If you dare to come as close as to this land of fire, I will burn you into ashes and make sure that you are resurrected again and burned again for eternity. Got it? Said Naruto, as now, for the first time in Orochimaru's life, he felt true fear. As only he could do was just nod with his eyes. Ah, good boy. Good boy. Now take care of yourself and get your sorry ass out of my sight. And with that, Naruto disappeared. As that is when Orochimaru turned his neck around, only to find the most disturbing scene. There were the lifeless and headless bodies of all of his sound genins that he has brought there. What kind of monster is he? I knew he was strong, but this is monstrous. The other villages are going to make a mistake. As our all-out war within a month was launched, as Naruto then did something that was so sinister and yet so powerful that made them all fear. You know what? My wives are quite generous and they want you all to leave. And if you do, I promise that you won't die. I'll, at least. What makes you think we're afraid of you? Charge, men! As all of them did as they were told, only for Naruto to make a fire arrow and launch it to the sky. As Soon as the arrow hit to the ground, huge amount of fire explosion was heard, and instantly more than 95% of the army was wiped out, turning to skeletons, as even Konoha was afraid of this cursed energy of Naruto. As Naruto began to laugh like a maniac. Oh man, that felt good. Come on, give up. But a part of me doesn't want you to, so I can kill you all. As that is when they realized they were going against a sociopath with a great power. A power enough to wipe them out with a single attack. The whole Elemental Nation army, at least. As even Konoha was afraid of the majestic and yet destructive power Naruto held. And even Tsunade and Mito were afraid. Naruto, I told you to at least be at bay. Don't kill them all. But I did what you told me, Mito. Jeez, I don't know even what more to do, said Naruto in a childlike manner, as he was now hugging his knees on the ground while twirling his finger in the sand, as everyone else was shocked, baffled. How can a being who at one point was so scary that they almost pissed their parents look so foolish and childish? She is right, Naruto, you know. Geez, not you too. As now he was rolling on the ground crying and in tears. Fine, I won't kill you. Listen to me, you idiots. Leave. Leave before I change my mind. Run along now, shoo. As with the little bit of army that they have left, the Kages with shameful defeat now turned back their ways towards their village. Traumatized and scarred forever of what they have witnessed. They will forever be unforgetful of the events that have been done today. And therefore, memories will forever be etched with the sociopathic laugh and face of Naruto Uzumaki. The man who did this all of them with his accursed energy was unsealed by a pure Uzumaki after all. And as this way, the peace by force and a curse was prevailed by Naruto himself, the true child of prophecy. And plus with a little bit of pervertedness, as he got at least 50 children out of both of the women, who were at least, well, you know, close to dying because of the birth after birth. But Naruto, in the end, was quite sad that he had to be stopped because he was enjoying having a huge family, because this was his one of biggest dream. And now that it was fulfilled, not like Konoha wasn't happy because now the Uzumakis were there, complete full-fledged Uzumakis, and some of the Senjus as well. So in this way, everyone had a happy ending. And as for Kaguya, at the moon, she was happy and praying to God that the seal would never break free, because as soon as it does, she will be teleported back to the earth. As she was praying, her seal tightened as the soul of her sons appeared. We won't let you be harmed, mother, even if you try to harm them. I know you are afraid, and we as your children will protect you. Thank you, my children. Thank you, my sons. As after that, a shaking Kaguya was left in her own will, and no Otsutsuki turned their eyes towards that accursed planet anymore, because there was a far more stronger energy coming from there that wasn't even chakra. As this is where I'm going to be leaving this short movie off, guys. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel, as this is Apollo Uchiha, and I'm signing off for the day. Peace!